Welcome back. All right, so 3 games in the NHL. They're all done, so it's an early end to the night. Nice, relatively quiet day around the world of hockey for today, which is good. You know, things settle down. Tomorrow's going to be busier, of course. A lot more games tomorrow and all that. I've even got some video ideas and stuff I was thinking about doing after this video, but I think I'll push that off till tomorrow, because I have time tonight to work on some stuff I've been thinking of. So let's go ahead and start things off with the New York Rangers and the Florida Panthers. It was the Shesterkin show again. So Shesterkin in their last game, his numbers got kind of ugly. And he played tonight like a goaltender that was obsessed with making those numbers a lot better. It was Knight against Shesterkin. One of the goaltenders was fantastic. The other one, I think, played all right. I don't know which of the goals I would have wanted to see Knight get, but, you know, we'll talk about it. So the Rangers get a good start. There was a pass to Kreider that wouldn't connect. The Panthers get a power play. There was a shorthanded chance for Gaudreau that was saved. So Florida, whose power play has been a big driver for them early in the season, not really a factor tonight. We then get 24 seconds of 4-on-4. The Rangers end up with the power play right after that, and Kreider scores. After a shorthanded chance for Vatrano, Kreider ends the double goose egg from Zibanejad and Strome at 7:52. Now, Louis Turinen nearly ties it. Duclair had a break that was saved, and then Fox saved the bounce. The puck kind of pinballs around, and Fox kept it out. It was going to go in. So nice defensive play there by Fox. Panthers had been out of sync. However, they start getting shots. So you get a post for Ekblad. The shots are evening up. There's a net feed to Reinhart that wouldn't go. And in the last minute, Florida had a power play and momentum, and it felt like they were going to tie this. However, the momentum doesn't really matter very much. I put right underneath so much for momentum. Fox scores shorthanded from Gaudreau and Zibanejad at 19:54. So that makes it 2-0 for the Rangers, and that is a huge blow to the Florida Panthers, right? You've had a good period of hockey. You're now ahead in the shots, and then it's a shorthanded goal against you in the final 6 seconds of the period. So second period, the Rangers finished that kill. Hornqvist then was digging at it at the side of the net. That draws a crowd because he was pretty vehement about pushing that pad in and getting that puck in the net. Panarin then fanned on a chance. The Rangers get a power play. That was a no. Vatrano had a chance that was saved. Gauthier with a break on a turnover. Knight makes the save on that. And the Panthers were doubling the New York Rangers in shots at this stage 20-10, meaning they had outshot them 9-1 in the second period to this point. Panthers with a net crash. There was a big dog pile after that. And you get nervous with those because Shesterkin's underneath said dog pile. Panarin scored, but it was successfully challenged for goalie interference. The thing that I found interesting was in watching the Rangers feed, so the Rangers feed said no, that absolutely shouldn't have been goalie interference. And as soon as I looked at it, I thought, it's not a penalty, but Knight can't make the save on that. So Knight might have made the save if, I think it was Strome that was in the crease, if he's not there. And so, yeah, that's goalie interference. So they take it off the board. We get 2 minutes of 4-on-4. And that 4-on-4, which you would think would favor Florida because they've got these fast forwards. They've got all kinds of talent out there. Well, first it's Miller from Kreider at 12:48. Fantastic end-to-end goal by Keandre Miller. I cannot recommend enough that people go and look at that. And then Strome scores from Panarin and Trouba at 13:18. So 2 goals in 30 seconds. Takes a 2-0 game, which Florida had been starting to really generate a lot of opportunities in, makes it a 4-1 game. Or 4-0 game. And Florida calls a timeout after this, at which point I would assume that the coach is like, all right, seriously, what are you guys doing out there? So we go to the third period. Louis Turinen scores at 20 seconds. That makes it 4-1, and then the Panthers try for another. Now, the Rangers are known for making it a little more difficult for themselves than they have to in some situations like this. So you don't want to take for granted that they're just going to win this, right? Shots are 3-0 Panthers at 4 minutes. The Rangers were playing back, trying to protect the lead. There was a close call for the Rangers at the Florida net 9 minutes into this. Vatrano fires one wide. Duclair was denied on a 2-on-1. This is where the Igor chants really get going in that third period. And then Reinhart scores from Tippett and Gudas at 18:34. So it's late. It's 4-2 now, but this means you can pull the goalie. They do. Chances for Florida, and Hornqvist gets it from Barkov at 19 minutes and 20 seconds. It's 4-3. And I'm just going to say that is your final score. But the Florida Panthers very nearly tied this. The thing that threw me off a little bit was that the Rangers were guilty of a penalty, and the Florida Panthers didn't just give them the puck. So they had a 6-on-4 for 10 seconds. That would have been maybe a bit of a difference maker, but again, I understand why they kept a hold of the puck. But yeah, the Rangers hold on. They go to 7-3-3. Florida drops to 10-1-1. There are no teams in the NHL now without a regulation loss. That is done for another year. Your shots in this one, 11-9 Florida in the first, 17-6 Florida in the second. So 2 out of 6 Rangers shots go in the net. 17-3 Florida in the third. Yeah. Final shots 45-18 in favor of Florida. So it's not that Florida had a bad game. It's just every time the Rangers had a chance, it goes in the net. Your power plays 0 for 2 for Florida, 1 for 2 for the Rangers. 26-18 were the hits in favor of the Rangers. So the Rangers did their best to stay out of the box and still played a good game. And again, they took advantage of their opportunities. Power play goal, shorthanded goal, this wonderful end-to-end goal, and then the Strome goal as well. I don't know which one of those ones Bobrovsky would have saved if he was in there, but still. Knight with the 14 saves on 18 shots. Shesterkin saves 42 out of 45. Great game for him. And so for the Rangers, we'll see if they can build on it. Next up, Capitals. This is a setup where basically Buffalo is now kind of in free fall, right? So Buffalo had that really good, strong time of it. So I'm going to straight up say Buffalo's back in the bottom row on that power rankings board I'm looking at right there. Tonight's result tells me, yeah, they're kind of in free fall. So it was Tokarski versus Vanacek. There was an early knuckler that was saved by Tokarski, but at 2:13, Wilson gets a goal from Ovechkin. The Caps then get a power play. Ovechkin had a one-timer on that was stopped. You can see that Washington's not cheating to try to get goals for Ovechkin, but they are trying to set him up, which is not unusual, but you can tell that they're aware of him chasing history. If they can get him the goal instead of themselves, I think they're fine with that. So we had a shorthanded chance for Hinostroza, and the Caps power play was killed off. Sabres pressed after, and there was some speed for the Buffalo Sabres. It's one thing that gets said with Buffalo games. They're a fast team. They're just not quite ready for prime time. They're not quite ready for the playoffs. The Caps press with 7.5 minutes left. Axel Fjällby almost gets his first NHL goal. I know it's Axel Jonsson Fjällby, but that's long, so I just put Axel Fjällby on the board. And so, yeah, he spent a week as a Sabre, and now he's back as being a Cap. He almost got his first goal. In the last minute, Ovi had a chance that wouldn't go. So we go to the second period with it 1-0 for the Capitals. McMichael scores from Schultz and Hagelin at 2:30, and it was a deflected shot. No chance for Tokarski on that one. And then Cody Eakin answers at 3:43. So it's 2-1. Carlson was then denied by Tokarski. The Sabres pressed at 8 minutes, but when the puck goes the other way, Ovechkin with the goal. Now, I thought from one angle it didn't look like Ovechkin touched it. Last I've checked, he still got credit for the goal. So it's Ovechkin from Orlov and Kuznetsov at 8:55. And again, like I'm saying, there was one angle that I thought, well, I don't think he touched it. But again, right now, he is tied with Brett Hull if that stands. And so he can look ahead and say, all right, so I got 25 goals to get to Jágr. I can do that. Because at 7:41, I think it's 7:66 for Jágr. Yeah, he can get 25 the rest of the year. Because that would be number 11 in 12 games. So at that rate, Gretzky might be looking over his shoulder faster than we thought. So the shots were 8-6 for the Caps with 6.5 minutes left. And you could see at 3-1 that they were in control of this game. The Sabres get a power play. It recorded 0 shots. There was a shorthanded chance by Wilson that was the best chance during that. Now, Dowd had gotten hurt earlier in the second, and this is where you realize he's probably not coming back for the night. So hopefully Dowd's okay. The Caps have had their share of injury problems, as a lot of teams have this year. Last minute, Okposo had a chance that was saved, and we go to the third period. The Caps early in that period, I noticed they were loose in their own zone. There were some turnovers starting to take place for Buffalo against the Capitals' defense. They then press, and they get a goal. It's Bjork from Hague at 3:17. Bjork batted it out of midair. I don't think Vanacek had a chance on that one. And so that makes things a little more interesting, 3-2. But Wilson takes some of the intrigue out of it with a goal from Kuznetsov at 6:45. So that makes it 4-2. Hathaway then to Hagelin. That wouldn't go. Carlson had a chance that was stopped, and it felt like maybe that was a game saver for Tokarski, right? The Caps had a power play. That was unsuccessful with 5:20 left. The Sabres get a power play. That was also a no because we end up with a shorthanded chance for Hathaway during that. There's 9 seconds of 4-on-4. Then the Caps get a power play, and they score on it to make it 5-2. It's Connor Sherry from Carlson at 17:47. The announcer said it was Carlson's goal, but pretty obvious Sherry tipped it. So Carlson would have had a three-game goal-scoring streak if that had been his goal, but it was Sherry's. So that makes it 5-2. I'll get there, 5-2. And then Colin Miller does answer to keep the intrigue a little bit alive from Pesek and Hinostroza at 18 minutes and 56 seconds. So in the last minute, Skinner had a chance. It wouldn't go. Buffalo loses 5-3. They dropped to 5-2. Remember, they were 3-0 to start the season. For the Caps, they're 6-2-4. They avoided the dreaded trap game. And your shots in this one, 12-6 Washington in the first, 9 apiece in the second. 13-9 Buffalo in the third. Final shots 30-28 for Washington. Power plays 0-3 for Buffalo, 1-3 for Washington. The hits were 20-11 for Washington, so they out-hit them and outshot them. Tokarski, 25 saves on 30 shots. Vanacek, 25 saves on 28 shots. So again, for Buffalo, this is that falling out of contention for a playoff spot we'd been waiting for. It's still somewhat disappointing to see it, though, right? It's always more interesting if teams are in there that you didn't expect to be in there. Speaking of, the LA Kings. So I had said when I did the power rankings this week that, I wanted to see, how this works for them on the road kind of thing and how this week was going to go. Good start. Now, for Toronto, Toronto's problem right now is they're not getting the scoring from their depth guys outside of the Big Four. So what had been the problem was the Big Four weren't going. Now the Big Four are going, and the rest of the team needs to pick up the offense. So it's Quick versus Campbell, or as was said by Craig Simpson in this, protege versus student. And I heard that and I thought, no? Shouldn't it be teacher and student, not protege and student? So yeah, just a weird comment. But yeah, both goalies were tested early, and I always like to say that because A, it proves I watched the game, and B, I want to see if anybody else picked up on it. So both goalies are tested early. There was a post for Kempe on a rush. Dermott had a chance to deflect wide. The Kings pressed at 5 minutes. It was a quiet start for the Leafs and a good road game for LA. And you could see this early that LA was doing their best, keep them to the outside, smother any of their chances, and don't allow shots early. And they did a very good job of that. The Leafs pressed at 8 minutes. Tavares had a couple of chances. Quick makes the save when needed. Kopitar nearly buries one. And then it's Moore. So Trevor Moore, who of course a former Toronto Maple Leaf, he gets the first point of the year for him from Grundstrom and Kupari at 10:52. And Moore was overdue. He's had so many really good opportunities in their last 3 or 4 games. He was overdue. And it makes some sense to be against the Leafs and that Grundstrom would get one of the assists as well, right? But then Athanasiou scores from Danault and Iafallo at 14:21. And Philippe Danault, of course, was part of the Montreal Canadiens that eliminated Toronto in the first round this past spring. And now they're looking, it looks like he's basically kryptonite to the Toronto Maple Leafs. Danault might have had his best game in a Kings jersey today. So the Kings end up getting a power play. Campbell was without his stick for a while there on the penalty kill, but the Leafs did survive that. Then we get too many Leafs on the ice. The Kings get a power play. If you don't think that should have been a penalty, I'll agree. I'll agree because Riley was already 1 foot off the ice. I know his replacement got involved in the play, but Riley already had partially left the ice surface. I thought it was a little bit chintzy, but, again, the Leafs did kill that off, so it doesn't end up being a big deal in this. So it's 2-0 for the Kings after 1 second period. Early power play for the Leafs, and they score on it. So Tavares from Marner and Nylander at 1:51. Those are your big names. You want them to keep going, but you want to see Spets on the board. You want to see Kerfoot on the board. You want to see some of those depth guys get on there, right? And Ritchie. You've got to start getting something out of Ritchie. The Kings nearly answered on a Ritchie turnover, so that's not the kind of thing you want to see from Ritchie. Athanasiou with a shot that was saved. The Kings press. Iafallo had a net drive or rush chance that was saved. Matthews then with a net drive of his own, and he hits the crossbar. So Matthews had a really good opportunity there, ends up hitting the crossbar. The Kings shot blocking halfway through. Danault scores. Was it kicked in? I was on the fence on this one. I was like, that's a tough call. I can see directing. Is it a kicking motion? They end up deciding no, it's not a kicking motion. And this was I believe it was Toronto assisted. There was no coach's challenge on this. So Danault scores from Athanasiou and Iafallo at 13:56. So for Iafallo, that's a couple of helpers. Danault a goal and an assist. And again, these guys are playing well. The Leafs press with 4.5 minutes left. Bjornfot then defended a Nylander chance. Bjornfot has kind of quietly become a pretty steady defender for the LA Kings. We'll see how long that goes for, but he's been pretty steady. Third period, Athanasiou breaks in on net, and he draws a power play. So Athanasiou at the goal here on a fantastic play, his first of the year, and he almost gets a second and draws a power play there. Kings, though, couldn't set up. The Leafs were puck pressuring like crazy, realized we're down 3-1. We cannot afford to allow another goal. After the kill, Matthews had a chance. He fired wide. The fans were very loud, vocal, unhappy with a non-call on one of the plays there. And there were a couple of plays where they might have been able to make a call. They didn't. So there weren't a lot of power plays in this game, comparatively speaking to what there could have been. But Ritchie had a chance that was saved, and then Muzzin had a shot that was a near miss, and his next one was, well, and you could tell Muzzin really wanted to get one on quick, right? Former teammates and all. Leafs get a power play, it records 0 shots. So you get a power play goal here, but then when you really need it in the third, you get a power play that records 0 shots. Riley had a point shot that was saved. Campbell saves another chance for Athanasiou, who might have had his best game of the season as well. And what's remarkable is, Kopitar's not on this board as having scored a point. And so the Kings tonight get a really good game without needing Kopitar to come out and be that big hero for them, right? So Danault scores at 15:30, and it was on his own rebound. And honestly, it was on some really good board play by the LA Kings. So the Leafs are forced to pull the goalie after that, and then Kempe hits the empty net. Brown with the assist at 16:13. That's your 5th goal. The Kings win this one 5-1. With the loss, Toronto goes to 7-5-1. This was their first loss in 5 games. 6 games, right? Because they had the 5-game winning streak. And for the Kings, this is a 5-game winning streak for them. They go to 6-5-1. And you're darn right, I moved them up on that power rankings board right there. And again, this is why, night by night I do that. So the shots in this one, 12-6 LA in the first, 14-8 Toronto in the second, 14-9 Toronto in the third. Final shots, 34-29 for the Leafs. Power plays, 0-3 for LA, 1-2 for Toronto. The hits, 34-33 in favor of the Toronto Maple Leafs. It was a physical game. Quick saves 32 out of 33. Looked like he turned the clock back 10 years tonight. Campbell saves 24 out of 28. There were a lot of soup chants when he made nice saves. But LA really had the road game going tonight. And we'll see how they do. They're in Montreal tomorrow. So there's that trap game for LA. Now it's a trap game for LA, and it's Danault heading home. And he gets to play against his former teammates in Montreal. That should be highly entertaining. But that's tomorrow night, and this is the end of tonight. So there you go. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.